And of course, like I had stage fright and whatnot. And then I just did not perform well, which
Oh,
did not make the whole thing fun at all.
it
And
must have been very pressured situation, right? Yeah.
I did not like it at all. And I think told you my teacher just would like whip my hand if I make
I
mistakes.
know.
And it was just so
It's
horrible. I
so
was like
crazy.
horrified.
I'm Eliane, and this is Tales from the Fretboard podcast. Inspired guitar stories from everyday guitar heroes.
2, 1. Ready. All right. Welcome to the show, Miyako. How are
Hi,
you?
Eliane. Nice to be here. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. I've known you for a long time now.
Yeah,
Like,
surprising. I think I was counting, and then I think when I switched my job in 2008,
oh, wow.
I switched to my really stressful job, and
Yeah.
then I thought I would do something new, different from just because I do translation, so I just felt like doing something else. And then I think 2012, no, 11, somewhere around there, I
And
found the NYC Guitar School. That's
right.
when the whole thing started. So it's
Wow.
close to over 10 years.
More? Yeah.
Yeah,
More.
yeah, 12, yeah, 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool. I know. So tell me, so then that's when you decided, because you changed jobs and you're like, I need to do something different to,
Yeah, it's to relieve my stress.
oh,
Like,
wow.
so my grandfather and my father actually play guitar a little bit as a hobby. So there was a guitar there, and they're just like having fun with it.
Yeah.
But I think I told you I used to play piano
Yeah,
for
you did.
like
Yeah.
10. I did not
What,
like it.
how old were you when you learning piano as a child?
So between 3 and 15, I believe.
Oh, between 3. So you started very young. Like,
Yeah. It
that
was
is
like a common thing for
interesting.
girls in
Yeah.
Japan to learn, maybe
Right.
elsewhere, learn
Right.
piano. So I started playing piano, and number one, I didn't like it. That's why probably I didn't practice that much. But
Right.
then we had recital like twice or three times a year. And of course, like I had stage fright and whatnot. And then I just did not perform well,
Oh,
which did not make the whole thing fun at all.
it
And
must have been very pressured situation, right? Yeah.
I did not like it at all. And I think told you my teacher just would like whip my hand if I make
I
mistakes. And it was just so
know. It's
horrible. I
so
was like
crazy.
horrified.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I begged my parents, can you please just stop making me not go there? Yeah. So finally at age 15, I was, yeah, grounded.
You were
Yeah. I was
freed
free. Like,
from the piano
yeah. Yeah.
torture.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
But
then yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, in that, did you enjoy listening to music or other people playing too, or was it all like linked to that situation, that the pressure thing?
I liked listening to music, even though I did not like playing piano.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh wow, other pianists so play well and everything. But I wasn't really into like guitar playing or anything. I wasn't really paying attention to a band or at all. But yeah, in general, I would watch like some TV shows with the musicians playing and singing and all that. Yeah.
And yeah, so the love of music was there. It was just
Yeah, it just then
the
me
means.
playing
Yeah,
something instrument
I can
wasn't there.
understand. Yeah, I know of stories like that, of where piano teachers very strict, especially uh, the past generations, right? Very strict. And
Hmm.
I guess in some countries too, like depending on the how the tradition is, right? Like they
Hmm.
tend to be very rigid, which it really probably turns off the love for music for many people. But luckily you kept it, and so you okay. So you that's fast forward. You now you have a new job, 2010, around then, right?
Yeah.
And then you said you have a guitar around because of
So
your grandpa.
yeah, and my first guitar actually that I purchased was Strat because I like Eric Johnson, EJ. So
Oh
he plays
yeah,
Strat, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to get it. So I went to Guitar Center, bought my very first
that is
electric
so cool.
guitar. So that was when I first messing things around, like pulling some chords or something
So
online and try to.
so did you start on YouTube?
More like just print out the chords because I had to learn. Like I remember, like I have to memorize chords, otherwise I won't be able to play. So that's
Right.
why I started. But then, as you would imagine, I wasn't going anywhere because
Because yeah,
I
because
mem-
you can learn the chords, but then sometimes it's like, how do I go from one chord to the other?
exactly. So
Right?
I memorized like maybe a handful of chords,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, how am I gonna even connect all those chords? So then I was stuck, and then I started to print out some song like a chords list and whatever, but then I wouldn't know the strum patterns.
Right.
So I got the chords, I got the music sheet with the chords like a CD, whatever,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how to strum. I would listen to the music, but then how am I just gonna strum down? And I didn't know how to hold the pick correctly either.
Ah, yeah.
So all that thing happened, and I'm thinking, I'm not going anywhere. So I have to find a school that
Right.
shows me how to do all that.
And that's when, yeah, that's when I met you at
Yeah,
the New York City Guitar School. And was I your first teacher
yeah.
in the oh cool.
I think you used to teach Saturday lessons, I believe, and then the Saturday was the only time, or Saturday or Sunday was the only time I can
Right.
actually have time to go.
Ah,
And you had
yeah,
a Saturday afternoon lessons, I believe.
right. Oh,
Yeah, you're my very first teacher.
oh, cool. That's awesome. And then, so at that point, you had your Strat. Do you still have
Mhm.
your Strat?
I do, but it's getting dusty.
Is that oh
Because
my gosh.
when I started taking new lesson, I bought my Yamaha acoustic. I've been using that
Oh,
since then.
was that for the Brazilian class?
No, that was for actually Edge
Oh, for
ensemble.
the ensembles, huh?
And then Brazilian came a little bit later, I believe. I forgot what year it was. I
Yeah.
bought
A
like a
nylon strap,
thinner,
because I remember you had one of those.
yeah, thinner
Yeah.
body one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had the same one. It was like an Ibanez.
Yeah, I think probably I asked you what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
because
good.
I like the thin body one. So
Yeah.
I think that's what I bought that
Yeah.
one.
I like that too.
Mm.
I guess coming from an electric guitar makes sense, but yeah. It's so what so then in that process of learning how to play songs and strum, and did you find what more challenges? Like what was like the main challenge in the very
In
beginning?
the very beginning was switching of chords. Obviously, there is a easier combination. Like if you change to, I don't know, maybe A minor to A or something, it's like only two frets. But if you had to change from the chord C to G or something, depending on how fast you're changing,
Right.
I could
Uh,
not form my fingers correctly to change from C to G. And of course, bar chords, whole different stories.
yeah, it's a different beast altogether. I know
Yeah,
when
but
they
yeah,
get to the
in the very beginning, just switching of chords and also the rhythm. Like now, I'm still learning,
right.
but and then coordination of strumming and changing of chords. It was very. I found it challenging in the beginning, like how fast I can change chords, and then also have to going. My right hand has to be going.
But that's good. So would you say definitely being in a school setting with, live instruction, it was like the way to get into that. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I totally agree.
And I see that happening to people. So then, okay, so you Eric Johnson blues. So you've had that inspiration, you can say. And are there any other guitarists that inspired you?
So I don't know if you remember, but you used to offer a workshop. I forgot what it's called, but we would go to the studio on 48th between 9th and 8th. You used to
Yeah,
offer a workshop. And
yeah.
one of the workshops, there is a mom and son.
It's funny. I remember that day
Okay, so
because it
well,
was
that's
so
like
unique. Yeah,
yeah, that was a long time. But before that, I obviously joined ensemble.
yeah,
Now it's called Edge. I got to meet different people, and I was like, oh no, everyone's so good. Everyone has different guitars, electric, acoustic, everything, and
yeah,
they know all these different techniques. That was I would call that inspiration because I got to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds,
yeah.
and even if they're playing a bit like I would be playing like 5 years by then, and then but then I see I like Jason.
No,
He
Jason,
was
that's
like,
like amazing.
and then
And with such ease, that's the thing. It's like, oh,
I like, how do you do
yeah.
that? And
Yeah.
of course, all those people that I met through Edge inspired
Yeah.
me, and then wow. And but
Oh,
then that mom and son pair, when they show up at the workshop, and then I believe mom sang, and then the
right.
son did this little. I think he said he played, what was
It,
it, percussion, I believe.
yeah, it was like a tapping, a
Yeah,
percussion
tapping.
tapping guitar, like acoustic tapping,
Yeah, and
right?
that gave me an idea. Oh, you can do that with tapping. Of course, I learned at school like a scratch and
Yeah, the percussive
muting.
technique that you can
Yeah,
do on
but
guitar.
I think that couple or the mom and son gave me an idea. Oh, I can do something with my right hand, not just like strumming like that up and down. So that led me to look for flamenco lessons.
Oh, yes, I remember that. You did the flamenco. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Oh, yeah. And
yeah, I
you even performed with them too.
yeah,
Yes,
I guess I always like Spanish culture, like flamenco, and not that I can dance, but I like the
right.
music and then
Yeah.
what they do with the like a sound with the
Oh,
guitar.
yeah. It's so amazing. It really is so passionate.
Yeah. So that sound like a tapping on the guitar. Oh yeah, I love this sound, like a tapping of the mixture of the sound and tapping. So yeah, that's how I Google and say I have to look for a flamenco teacher.
That's so
And the
cool.
only thing
And
I
then you found Elisa, right?
yeah,
Jason
Lisa?
and yeah,
Y
Elisa.
yeah, Elisa.
Yeah.
So I that was the only school that I can find, and the funny thing, when I mentioned to you, you're like, "Oh, yeah, they used to be at the guitar school." And I go, "Wow,
Right? Yeah.
what a small world."
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Very small.
yeah,
That is so cool. And do you still play some of the flamenco?
I have stack of music sheets from that lessons, and then I bought a flamenco guitar specifically for that lesson.
Oh, did you
So
get a Cordoba?
yes.
Ah, yes.
So I have that one, and I love, love, love the guitar. So I'm trying to get back to by looking at the music sheets, and I have a book too. So now
Right.
I still remember some of the finger movement. So I
Nice.
am
Like
trying to,
the rasgueado,
yeah,
that's
and then
yeah.
tapping and do that. So I'm trying to get back to, I'm trying to like look at the music sheet and okay, how was I supposed to do this? And but I'm,
Because now that because we've been doing the rhythm workshop too, does it give you like fresh eyes on those old charts?
yeah, I think the rhythm has been always my weakest point because even when I'm strumming, you can strum, but then if you don't have the rhythm, you the people cannot tell what you're playing actually. They can say, I guess sounds like this, but maybe not. I'll be
Right.
playing it to somebody and then they will go like,
I
no
think
offense, but I have no idea what you're playing.
right. It's like
So
it's like oh
I
my
think
god.
now that I'm becoming more familiar with how important the rhythm is because through your workshop and everything, you have to like pause when you have to pause, not just pause for a second. You have to actually count and pause
Right.
and then do the next move.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you go like quick and then what was that?
Because it's not
It's
okay, there's a stop here. Let me just stop for
quarter a
well,
minute. Yeah. So like flamenco, because you do this like right finger taps or the movement,
yeah.
you have to go with the rhythm or else this one will not work, the right hand.
It's almost like you have to catch some momentum, right? Because it wouldn't work at us like if you stop, like if you say stop motion, or it has to be in motion, like and flowing at a certain rate. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think it's true to all rhythm, but for flamenco especially because it's such a thing. And some of these sounds, I don't play flamenco, but I play Brazilian and I play a lot of different styles. And I know this for sure. Like some of the sounds that you get, I only happen in the moment. Like it has to be at a certain, you have to be in the loop, like in the zone. So then
Right.
it starts to come out. And that is, I think that's the magic element, that there's a layer of magic to rhythm that only happens if you're in it. Like you can read, you can understand, and I think that's the main struggle for people is okay, this stuff that's on paper, I understand, I can rationalize it, but and then it has to make a bridge. There has to be a connection between that I know the information and the actual music. And if I think is if you're not brave to let it go and just trust, it's not going to happen. you know
I totally agree. You know how I am. Like I don't want to be like showing stuff, so like tend to hold off. I don't know, hold it in and then don't express right away. But I think I totally agree with what you just said. You're gonna have to go and loosen up a little bit.
and I think it's a trusting yourself, trusting your hands. That's gonna come
Yeah,
to
that's difficult though.
that is difficult because and but I can hear, I know you hold back, but
Mhm.
when it's like your turn, you're like, okay, no, let me show, and then oh, there it is, and it's you're playing. Oh, I'm gonna do it 80, no, I'm gonna do it 90 now, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna do it 100, and
I
it's
need to. Yeah, I need to get over that one. I just need to do it. Don't hold back and just.
one thing that I think happens naturally, and I see happening to you too, is like technique will bring sometimes, because of course you can trust things and then start and try to make it happen, and then it will happen. But when you we are hesitant, like I believe technique opens the door to confidence, because then you have no other option but trust, because you're going to develop muscle memory, and before your fingers start doing or your hand starts moving, that because you trained that way, or you took the time
Right.
to focus, and behind doors with the metronome, here we go, and then before it's all like you assimilated that, and then it comes through.
Speaking of the metronome, I hated using metronome before. You know why? Because I think because I did not like to. I guess I didn't. I wouldn't say I didn't want to get the rhythm, but I just hate. Like I felt like metronome was controlling me. Like I
Ah, yeah.
and
Metronome,
I.
maybe you thought metronome is like my old teacher, is like a
Oh,
mean,
probably. Oh,
it's a mean,
yeah.
rigid thing that
But
is so structured, and
I
yeah.
I just did not. I did not like to use metronome. But now I know how important it is because I think when we were even like when I was still playing with the ensemble, you would tell us like, okay, use the metronome so that you can with the timing and everything. And also, if you use a metronome, when you make a mistake like, along the way, you can just okay, just keep going. You will learn to go with the rhythm, even if you make just like hit one wrong air note. But then you just
You,
learn to move on because you have to go with the rhythm.
you learn, like it teaches you to stay in it, right? Because
Yeah,
more and more you're like, okay, that's not a big deal.
yeah, I'm just
I'll
gonna
come
go.
back in the next
Yeah,
measure, or if you can if you can come back whenever you can come back,
right.
if it takes a few measures.
But if you
But
didn't have the metronome, you would just stop there,
you would just
and
stop
that's it.
there, and what it
Yeah,
does is that exactly is to it ensures that that momentum keeps going, because and that's I think that's the key element to master rhythm, because like we were saying, there are certain things you have to loop it, and you have to until you acquire the right movement, especially for strumming, because it's like your hand, your arms, your muscle start to get into shape or into the right angle, and then next time and
right.
next time, before you know, is okay, now I'm doing this extra little turn that I it would never occur if I wasn't doing like this like 20 times in a row. You can't sit there and say, okay, now I'm going to turn an extra little 5 degrees to the side or whatever. Like it's not, it has to be, yeah. Because also the metronome is interesting, but it puts pressure on us, right? It's so I think immediately we go into this fight or flight mindset, then it has to come through, and then things do start coming through more and more. But I think as a learner, myself too, we are always learning. But when you study rhythm and challenging yourself to things, there is, I was going to say, there's the momentum, but there's also trusting, and I completely lost my thread.
It's okay. It's gonna come back.
It's gonna come
But
back. But no,
well,
oh,
not to change the okay, until you remember, not to change the subject, but I
uh-huh.
wish a lot more people are interested in Brazilian guitar because I know that we played Brazilian like workshop. We had a Brazilian workshop for like at least a couple years maybe.
Yes, that was so
But
fun.
I know I like Brazilian. I like bossa nova a lot ever since I was like younger. Yeah, I wish more
Did they
people.
did your parents listen to bossa nova? That's how you started learning?
No, there used to be this Japanese lady or a singer who sang like Brazilian like music, bossa nova. I don't know where she is now, but that's how
So
I.
she was not Brazilian, she was Japanese?
She was Japanese. She was Japanese, and then for some reason she produced bossa nova not in Japanese but Brazilian Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
wow.
like that sound. That's how this is bossa nova. I like it a lot. And then I met you, and then you had that workshop, and I really um, some of the songs that introduced to us.
Yeah.
Um,
We did that Girl
oh,
from
go ahead.
Ipanema, we did Bad and Powell,
Yeah,
the
and then what was that?
One Note Samba.
Yeah, but then also I love that one. Gisela, or was it her name was
Yeah, yeah,
Gisela? And her
Giselle.
husband, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Andres. Yeah.
Yeah, Andre had that instrument,
The
remember?
Berimbau. Yes.
I love that song.
He's amazing. Yeah, the song was called Berimbau.
Oh, Billy Bob, what was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a very challenging song
Yeah.
to learn,
That was
but
so cool. Like we performed at Arlene's, right?
yes, yes.
Yes. And I think George was in it
Yeah,
too.
George, Giselle, you, me, and
Nadine.
no, Nadine wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Just
She
Giselle.
was in a different one then.
Yeah, she was in a different one. But
Yeah.
that for that one, performance was Gisela, Andre, George, you and me. Yeah. So that was
That's so cool. I
fun
like
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did that song by Marisa Monte too.
Oh, was it?
Like the Universo ao meu redor.
Yeah, all the songs. Yeah, I love that one. But
Yeah,
apparently,
I have to bring that back.
yeah, but apparently not many people, I don't know,
You,
are interested in it, I guess.
yeah, I know people
Because,
do ask me about it from time to time.
oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, so I should create a wait list and then just make it happen. I know
Yeah.
so many things we want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, and now what's your main? Do you have a goal on guitar like this year, or let's say this year?
Okay,
So
so I'm trying to coming back to guitar because during like past pandemic, I was just swamped with work, and I was just basically working and working every day. And I realized I need to take a break a little bit and breathe in and breathe
and
out.
also you're doing ukulele, right?
Oh yeah, that's a little bit different. Oh, you know what? Ukulele helped me getting back to guitar playing because ukulele only has 4 strings, and it's true that you have to remember a whole different chords. But I found it easier to just pick it up and start playing something.
Yeah,
And
I love
ukulele,
that song. What was that song? It was a was it a
perfect. Ed Sheeran,
Ed Sheeran?
perfect.
Yeah, that
I love that song. So that one I went to YouTube and
yeah.
found a YouTuber who was playing that, and so I thought I have to master this. So I printed
And
out the
you
music
did it
sheet.
in chord melody, right?
Yeah,
Chord melody. Yeah, that was
I just
awesome.
love that one, and because it's small, so that ukulele actually gave me a way to get back to playing guitar, just because it
Yeah.
was like I said easier to play. So this year I'm trying to get back to learning more songs because I do finger style. So I have this stack of
Songs.
music sheet I printed out.
So
Yeah.
you have a repertoire book. That's
Yeah, so I have some lists, and then some are more difficult, and then some are easy one. So I'm try to be able to play through all the songs. Yeah, that's my goal this year.
and do you like more like of a chord melody style? Is that what you want to get more into? Like where you don't have to sing, but you just do.
No, I don't want to sing, but I that's why I'm more into finger style
Yeah,
because melody. Because if when you sing, of course you can play chords, and because singing is the main thing, like your voice is the main tool
yeah.
for that singing the song. But for me, I don't want to sing, so I want to produce everything with my fingers. So melody.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
even if I'm not singing, people
right.
can tell, okay,
Yeah.
which song it is.
So you just want to make the guitar sing.
Oh, that's a
That's
nice way to say it.
that's
Yeah,
no, it's a beautiful way to get to really get in touch with your instrument and then just let the instrument speak. Like I love that. It sounds so beautiful too.
yeah.
And okay, so you performed over the years. Many many times, even at the Zoom open mics that we've had
Oh yeah, once, and yeah,
once
my only in one, yeah.
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, what was like your most scary performance time? Was it back in the piano days, or was it like with the I guess let's just in general, and then you tell me the guitar one.
Piano ones, I pretty much wiped out all my memories because of the due to my trauma that I had. So I don't even remember like what I did. I can't even read piano chord like a piano. I can't. I have no idea. Like I'm staring at them. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's how traumatic experience that was. So guitar, the scariest one was when I took fingerstyle lessons at guitar school, and then I performed at a student showcase, and I played Dear Prudence on stage all by
I think I
myself.
was there. I was there in the audience.
I was like, I think I should have practiced before I went to the stage, but I was just sitting there. And when I went up there, I was just so panicking. And
Oh my.
I played the intro like over and over. And I think I remember Lenny was standing like trying to sing, and then he looked at me like, "What are you doing? Like you're playing like looping." So I thought, "Oops!" So I started to play, get into the, and
You did great despite the scare,
was
the fear.
yeah, that was the scariest. And the performances that I had with the Edge weren't surprisingly scary at all because
Oh,
I had a bunch of
nice.
people around, and then I got to play with very fun people.
More like a teamwork, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it
Yeah.
was fun.
And from
But I
those, like, which one? Okay, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
What was the most fun one?
I think Brazilian performance was the fun. I wasn't like nervous. I was chilled, but also I remember which one was that? That was the biggest number of people.
Oh, was it the Led Zeppelin?
No,
Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones. We
Yeah.
had a different. Wasn't it somewhere in a
Yeah, I think it was
studio?
we played at Smash Studios
Okay, yeah,
with
that
the
was
showcase there. Yeah.
so many. I think it was the biggest group ever, wasn't it? There are so many
Yeah, it
people
was
there.
like 18 people on stage.
Oh, that's why I remember so many people there, and I think we had one of the guitar teachers sang for us, I believe.
Yeah, it was Brie.
Oh,
She
maybe.
she came and sang for us. That was yeah.
Yeah,
That was
and
so.
that was one of the
We had
fun.
two bass players,
Oh, was it?
drummer. Yep.
Yeah, we had a drummer. Yeah, I remember a drummer.
And
But that was
and a lot of guitar players. That was so fun.
yeah, that was fun. I think that was the most memorable performance, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's so good. Great memories. And what would you say to someone who starting out as an adult, starting on guitar? What do you have words of encouragement or tips?
I think just don't think you cannot do it just because you're already adult and you never touched the guitar. Because, and despite the blisters you might get,
Yeah.
your finger's gonna get stronger, and you just cannot give up. You keep playing, and then if you find like a group, I think I encourage them to find or join some sort of group.
Yeah.
That way you get to learn from other people, and then you see how other people like path, like how they got to where they are now. And then I found out that people who are involved in any type of music, they're unbelievably nice. They're unbelievably friendly. They will talk to you. It doesn't really matter what you do. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter if you're a beginner. I still remember when I was going to happy hour,
Yeah.
I had problem tuning my guitar one night, and I remember Andrea. She was there always, but and Fred, they're the long time player.
Yeah,
But
they're
I was
long
having
timers.
trouble
Yeah.
like trying to tune my guitar and I couldn't do it. And then they came up to me and I said, "What's the problem? What's the problem? Let me help with it." I'm like, "Whoa!" They're helping me.
That's yeah, I know. Oh,
So
that is
I think I encourage them to find a group and join that group and start playing with other people. Don't think like you have to pull something from YouTube. I think there are different ways to do it. Some people are good with watching YouTube and try to learn yourself. But at some point, I think it would be if you're just starting, just find a group,
yeah, for
guitar group or whatever, and then
it,
join.
it will change your lives.
Yeah, because like you get to talk to others, and they will share you tips. Hey, you gotta do this, because by watching YouTube, sometimes you might not know how to place your fingers or whatever.
Right.
But in person, they will tell you, okay, I'm doing this. I don't know if it works for you, but you could try. So that's
Oh,
my
yeah, that's
advice.
great. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
That
Eliane.
was great to hear your story, and it's always fun to have you in the groups, Miyako.
Thank
I hope
you.
to see you in person soon.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Eliane.